Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Fab and Build. Today we are working on our end tables. They're going to match this little table that's a picture over here, up here somewhere, okay? It's going to be on the same format, wrought iron finish, American cherry, shelf on the bottom that's removable. Anyway, we're going to get busy on that today. We hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for coming in. Okay, and get this other side tacked in. Okay, got this first one clamped together. I think we'll be able to trip on down through here and just tack these together pretty good. Done. We're not going to weld it to the top of the frame until I drill the holes out. I've got to drill solid regular holes on each end in the middle. That's going to be the front and back. On the sides, I'm going to have to drill slots. One about 6 inches from here, 6 inches from here, each corner. As the wood expands and contracts through the season, it doesn't break it, crack it, it gives it the room to move. So that's what those slots are for. We'll get this other side tacked, and then we'll start mocking up on one of the tabletops to check to see where we're at, to see how this is laying out. I'm really curious and eager to see where we're going to wind up on that. I think we're going to be good. Cut all the welds, move all these up to where the bottoms actually come to here. So I'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, I've got it flipped over, got it tacked on the other side. I'm going to tack it here on both top and bottom corners and then let it cool. I've got a brace in here to help space that apart the way it should be, so we don't have any of this happening. So we should be good there. Once that cools, I can just pull that right out, no problem. Okay, I don't know what the audio is like on this. If it's crap, I apologize. Okay, so we have the MIG welder set up. I've got my other plates made. I've got the other 4 that I had made. I'm gonna go ahead and tack weld or weld these nuts on. I'm gonna use every other flat on this to do this. I'm not gonna go all the way around. That's overkill. I've turned the settings down on my MIG a little bit so the wire feed's not so fast and so hot. Going to concentrate more on the plate than the nut, but kind of go in between, if that makes sense. So that way we get penetration for both. Okay, so we've got the pads up here with the nuts on them. We've got all 4 of these. These are the ones I already had. We'll get these tacked on here and then we're going to weld them in real quick. Good, I've got all the welding done that we're doing to these. Next we'll be clean it up, grind it down, paint it, get it ready, put the feet in it. Then we're gonna get the tops prepped and put those on. We'll be back. So we're gonna move forward and cut the 2/8 and a 9. I'm gonna do 8, 9, 8. And then out of this, try to get something off of that that matches this one here. Yeah, I'll be able to do that. Okay. I've got the grain matched up as close as I can get it. Top, backs, backs, and backs. Here looks like to be 8 5/8. 8 5/8. So we are actually waiting on the planer to get here. So I'm going to take the next step, get over here and resaw these down. Okay, So we got that all milled to thickness. Everything is right where it needs to be. I'm loving this. Everything is right on point. Man, don't even feel it. Okay, so I've got my stuff set out. I've got my doweling rods, dowel rods, not doweling rods. I have a doweling jig, which is new to me. This is not a paid sponsorship, it's something I bought with my own money. I think I brought it up just real quick. If you're gonna get some tools, get the ones that are gonna do the job right. Spend the money, buy once, cry once, that kind of stuff. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. This is the Task doweling jig, self-centering. I've used it on one hole. I know one hole doesn't sound like much to you guys, but tell you what, that one hole showed me the quality that this thing is made of. So I don't know how well you can see them, but there's scribe marks in there on both of these for all of these 4 pinholes, right? Scribe marks down on the inside, both sides. So that does line up with your marks. The other cheapy China thing that I had does not. It has them on the side, but it's all covered up by the other things that go folding into the board. Anyway, this is for those that want it. This is it. It's the model number and everything up here up top. This is the one that comes with all of the 1/4, 5/16, and 3/8 bushings. They do have a cheaper model than this. It does not have the bushings included. It's just this centerpiece with a certain size set holes, whether it's 1/4 inch, 5/16, 3/8, 1/2 inch, whatever. I went with this because I normally do 3/8 and 5/16. On occasion I do 1/4, but I'm good. So this fits all of my needs. Anyway, we're gonna get moving on this. I will show you why this is so important to me. So we have 5 holes that I drilled with the cheapy doweling jig. As I explained to you, the bushings were getting wore out, the drill was sloppy, it's horrible. So I stick this in here. Look at this. I shouldn't be able to do that with the dowel. And every single hole is like that. It's not gonna matter, okay? With the one that I did drill right here in my Peruvian walnut. Enough said. And the other thing that I will say, and I will show you this, that's as tight as I can get it. I could put pliers on it, but there's no point in it. It's good and solid on here. It's not going anywhere. I want you to see the fit on that wood. This is not being pulled inward, creating this. Like so many of these so-called self-centering ones that I've bought in the past, the little cheapies. This is not going to do that, okay? So, final and last time, if you're going to get something that's worth the money, worth your time and investment. You're going to spend the money instead of spending it over and over and over again looking. Just go ahead and get the good one in the beginning. Going to flip it over, keep the same side to the front. A little deeper with the nice. I love it. Look at that. Let's done this. I'm gonna get me a couple more clamps out here. We need to do all this from one side. All right, I'm gonna get some more wet paper towels, wipe up this glue real good. Okay, we're sliding these last set of clamps in on this one. Okay, so I'm cutting down all my dowels, my little dowel pins. I'm down to 1 3/8 of an inch. That's what I want to have them at, as I do have my drill bit set at just a shade right at an inch, or right at 3/4 depth. So if I go 1 3/8, that's leaving me a little bit of room. Because these are fitting so tight, something I didn't mention before, but I'm going to go ahead and bring that up. If you wanted to cut a little slot down that with, say, a utility knife or whatever, or if you wanted to take your dowel rods, if you're cutting them down like I am, and just take and shave a little piece off all the way down as far as you need it, or whatever, if they're fitting that tight, because this is a really nice tight jig and drill bit and everything is fitting just the way I like it. So that way it lets some of the air and the glue out. There's not a problem with capturing air underneath the dowel pin and forcing it to not go in all the way. Well, you're actually creating a little bit of a flat spot on there, if you can see that. A little bit. That allows the air and the glue to come back out. Okay, I've actually got 29 cuts, so I think I'm good on that. I'll have 28 for the other one. So this is my setup. I've got 2 of my roller stands. They actually are the 2 roller stands that I drilled the holes into the sides, and I put the bolts in there to lock the rollers down, because I don't really want that rolling free. I have the other panel here as a support catch. Most of everything is on that over there and the rail. I'm going to be lifting right here on this end with my other hand, be lifting it gently as I'm pressing down with the other hand on the back of that guide through the router bed as we do this. In my mind, this works. We're going to find out how well this gets executed real quick. I could have and probably should have showed you on the smaller panels, but if you see this, you'll see that this is more of a corner right here than a flat. So that is why we actually go back and take this, run this around and square those corners off. Okay, so I've got my dry fit done on my first back and top. I'm just going to gently make my marks through here so I know where the glue goes. That's not going to be heavy enough for anybody to see down the road. Okay, so I've got my dowel holes drilled in all of my pieces on the end. I'm holding 1.5 inches from the back side here and 1 inch from the front. They'll go on like that. I've got this clamp to help guide me flush along this area here. I'm going to place it down here with these centers in it, get it down here and rest it, and then I'm just going to lightly tap it to mark the holes over here so I know we're good. There we go. I don't know how well this is going to work, but we are fixing to figure it out. That's pretty straight. Okay, I'm going to work on cutting this template out. I've got my design here. No way you can see that. That's what we're going with. It's almost like 1/2 of a heart or 1/3 of a heart, whatever you want to call that. There's my template. Sweet, now we can pull the router table out and get the rest of these done. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Sweet. Awesome. Get that. There. Okay. We're going to unclamp these and get these ready to go onto the tabletops. I still have a tabletop to prepare to the frame, which is not that big a deal. I just have to lay the top up here, topside down, put the frame inverted over on it upside down so I can mark out the holes and do what I did to the first frame already. So we're going to actually get that done after I get these unclamped. I just want to go ahead and get these released and let them, for lack of a better way to put it, let them rest for a second. I know that sounds stupid. I come up with stuff that nobody else does. So I'm sure it doesn't make sense. But like me, a lot of things I do don't make sense. So it's all good. I'm good with that. I think this is also 1 inch wide, and I'm going to double check with that because it is wider instead of having my ruler go under the curve, make sure that it's flat, flush. It's actually good. But I will take my other 1/4 inch bit. Okay, as I am going to remove this from the tabletop to work on this, to flip it over to attach the shelves, I've actually marked, this is the back. This is the back where the shelf is going to sit, so this is the back of the table. Like I said, these don't have to go all the way down, and they won't. As you saw on the last one, they're going to go down far enough to push the pins into play, and that's about it. Okay, so I've swapped back out to my 3/8 bit. I've got it set to just a hair over a 1/2 inch. So I know I have plenty of depth on this. So I've got my holes marked out really good with these pins. And we're gonna go ahead and get these set. Okay everybody, I am getting set up. We are going to cut some more cherry down. It's going to be 30 by 14. Down on the bottom, we're going to cut the corners out. We're actually going to do the 45 chamfers all the way around, top and bottom, same as the top. Okay, so I'm going to cut this a little bit longer than 30 inches because neither of these are a factory edge. Or, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. They are factory edges and they're rough. So what I'm going to do is cut this and then have to put a factory, I'm going to have to plane it down. So I'm going to do that. Then I'll be able to rip it on the table saw and get 2 pieces out of it, no problem. There I go without my mask. Okay, gonna get set up here. Good old beach mallet. Probably one of the first little hand things I built in my shop. Yeah, right down the middle, that's good. Nice. Okay. Got our straight edge. We're good there. So now I'm going to go back and cut my ends, both ends, to square on that at 30 inches. And make sure that we're good to go, and we'll rip it down. Check my grain, both of it's in this. If I do that, got those to thickness, they've got those to width and length. Next, we're going to get ready to do the dowels. Put those in there, get those glued up, and let them set and dry. These corners are still marked out. I didn't really sand over those because I'm leaving these lines to cut on the bandsaw. Alrighty, we're gonna get busy and wipe this down. I'm going to set out my little pyramids because these are what I'm going to be using to help finish these. That will allow those to dry a little bit. One of the other quick tips that I wanted to share with everybody, if you're going to use BLO in any fashion and you're going to have it on rags or paper towels, for those of you that might be new to woodworking or this is something you're new to doing, make sure you always lay your rags out and let them dry. You wad these things up when they're still damp with oil, put them in a trash can. There's a good chance you're going to have a fire on your hands. I'm not saying that it's a guarantee 100%, but it's a real good chance that that's going to happen. So always spread them out. This has been spread out since last week. It's got a pretty heavy residual oil in it, so I'm going to let this sit completely out till it dries to the touch and I'm not getting any more oil residue off of it. Then I can throw it away. But what I usually do is I have a metal can, got to double check, but it actually neutralizes it. I don't think it's water. It could be water that I've got in there, and then soak these in that, okay, to help dilute this BLO. So you always want to make sure you do that if you're using boiled linseed oil. Always spread them out, let them dry. Now personally, I don't throw them away that often. I reuse them as much as possible because something to be aware of, and a lot of you that may do this already know, if you're new to it, this is just a tip that I'm sharing. When you open it up and dry it out like that, dust and debris and all kinds of stuff gets in your rag. Once that oil's on there, that stuff's not going to be easy to come out. So I don't want to put that back into this in my finish and have to try to sand it out, refinish it again, whatever. So I always get me a clean one once it's sat like that, open, overnight, couple days, whatever. So, okay. So I am going to start out by emptying the oil that was already on here, or in here, onto this and spreading it out. Something else that I'll say, just a quarter of this stuff will go a very long way. I bought that gallon. I plan on doing a massive amount of BLO work, so that's the only reason I have that gallon on hand. If you don't do this all that often, a quart is going to be more than enough to last you, in some cases, for years. I've actually had that for years. And I've used it on a good bit of my past projects. That is a good coat right there. Another reason I like using BLO as a finish is that when I pause like I did last night, and I have a little overlap on this bottom side around the edges, and I come in and I start today, there's no variance. I don't see a darker and lighter start and stop on that. So that's just another huge advantage of using the BLO. And other finishes that are clear, you can get away with that. I mean, some polys. Like I said before, to reiterate, you want the finish to where it has a layer of oil kind of puddled on top. Not puddled, just a thin layer of oil that where it's done soaking in, then you can come back and wipe it all down, let it dry, let it air for a bit. I like to give it 3 to 5 days myself personally. Sometimes, depending on temperature, humidity, it might go 8 to 10 days. So before I put that furniture in use, before I do that, I actually give it another good wipe down, kind of buff it out a little bit. Then make sure that there's no residue. Anyway, we're gonna let this soak in for a bit. We'll be back. Okay, good morning to everybody. We're gonna get busy and put this new poly. I actually, this is what I have. Min-Wax Helmsman. It is a spar urethane, they call it, whatever that means, and it's a clear semi-gloss. So we're gonna get busy and get this done today. It's early. We've got the whole day. Got the wind kicking up out there, so hopefully I'm not gonna have to fight that too bad. If I start getting a lot of junk in my finish, I guess I will have to close the doors. Or the door. Anyway, we're gonna move forward on this. Thanks for stopping in. Hope you enjoy. We're gonna let that dry for a bit. Then we're gonna come back when this is set up and check it. Make sure it's not tacky. And proceed with the next coat. Or onto another area. We'll see. Well, okay. What do y'all think? They're looking pretty good. This is actually the first coat on the bottom here. I have the doors closed. I do have the tops. I've got the inside down here on this side inside and the outside top here. I have yet to do this inside and the other outside. I do have the back, all of this, and the bottom. Okay, I was able to go through and get all of that. And a little touch up on this outside rail down here. I'm waiting for these, they're still a little tacky. Waiting for them to tack up pretty good so I can come back with my 500 grit, kind of knock off the nibs, wipe it down, clean it up, give it another coat. I wanted to give you a quick update. We're almost done with the poly on this. My wife got in a hurry and set her table up. How did I not see that coming? Okay. Once they went in the house, I should have known. But, and funny enough, she's the one that suggested, yeah, well, you can bring them in here. Yeah, didn't see it coming. Anyhow, we're gonna let these dry, get it finished up. When these are done and I can get these in there, I'm gonna take that top loose because I only have the 2 screws in it front and back in the centers on the Peruvian walnut holding it on that frame. I did not put all those screws in it because I was not done. So anyway, we'll be back tomorrow to finish up the rest of this. Hope you guys have enjoyed it up to this point, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one. I am not sure how good a representation this is, but you can see how much taller these are, even though they are a little bit more narrow. They're about 4 inches narrower than these. These are 24 inches across. These are 20. And I am using some little 1/4 inch by 0.45. The only thing that's not as I wanted it to be was actually the adjustable feet. They're actually metal. They're a smooth metal, which is good, but they don't have the rubber cushion on them like the desk that I built for my wife in the office, which is also on this same format. Different, but same format. Metal frame, straight leg, not angled like these. That was her preference, which it actually works better on a big desk like that. So we kept it simple. Cherry, Peruvian, walnut breadboard ends on the ends of those. Oak or cherry dowels? I think they're oak. Run through the breadboards on the end. Okay, well this is going to pretty much do it for this episode on this, for the end tables. We did get the coffee table out there, and we resurfaced, or I refinished it as well, so it would match the end tables. We hope that everybody's enjoyed the video. We hope that everybody is in a safe and a great place. If you have any questions on the video, wow, about to spill that. That's not good. I don't like those coasters. I'm going to be making some new coasters real soon, different than this. These are nice, but they don't work. Not for our stuff. Anyway, hope that you've enjoyed the video. If there's any questions that you have on anything in the video, I'll put a list of things in the video. Anything I leave out, if it doesn't answer your questions, please leave a comment below. Most of you that have been here for a while already know this is not my first go round with this boot. Speaking of which, my wife has now affectionately dubbed me a new nickname. I think pretty much all you guys and gals out there ought to get a real good giggle out of this one. So anyhow, since I can't seem to stay out of this thing for an extended period of time, for whatever the reason, she has affectionately calls me Boots. That is my new nickname. So hope everybody gets a good giggle out of that, and it lightens up your day a little bit and makes it a brighter place to be. So if you like the nickname, love it, hate it, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you think. I think it's cute. Why not? I'll wear it. I'm not ashamed. I'll do it. It's not a big deal. So I'm actually going to turn that coaster over. I think that'll work better. So anyhow, we hope that everyone is in a safe place. Everybody is in a great place. Always remember, keep your eyes forward on the road in front of you. There's a reason that your windshield is this big and your rear view mirror is only this big. So don't ever look behind you. Always look forward. The things that are coming at you in the future are always going to be in front of you, never behind you. So the things that are behind you are done. It's written in history. You can't change it. Don't worry with it. Anyway, we hope that everyone has a great day. Great holidays coming up. We hope to see everybody back out in the shop on the next one. Have a good one.